Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about this game Crypto Raiders, and it's a game that I'm invested in and it's one that I'm enjoying thoroughly. I'm very happy to have invested in this. I almost did not, and this project has just continued to give me returns upon returns. It's incredibly fun. I'm having a ton of fun with it, and the game is still in its infancy. It's basically still in alpha. It hasn't even properly launched. They're still releasing things, and it's still a great opportunity to get in. And yeah, so we're going to go getting through it today. So the game is an RPG concept. You can see a little bit of the artwork here, very Final Fantasy inspired, which is something I really like. And you mint, you raid, and you loot. It's a dungeon crawler. But one of the things that's incredibly interesting about this project, which they haven't implemented yet as it's still in alpha, is your heroes that you mint are actually destructible. They can die. So, as you're running through a dungeon, your hero has a chance of dying. And that's actually really scary because some of these heroes that we've invested in at this point are not cheap. As the game progresses and more mints happen, I'm sure the value of champions will drop down, making them a little bit more expendable. But these first, second, third, fourth generation heroes have additional perks which helps them hold their value. But yeah, your hero has a chance of dying, and that also brings this burning economy into the project, which I think is really important, which a lot of games are lacking. Even though we can continue to create and mint champions, there is a functionality here that also removes those champions from the market. And we're not there yet, so whatever I'm going to show you, your champions, they can't die, but it's coming, and it's part of what makes it interesting. And like I said, the artwork is phenomenal. They're developing a ton of lore around this. So here's a bit of a teaser with their artwork. That's pretty funny. That's a reference to a champion dying. But yeah, it's got that whole Final Fantasy 4, 5 aesthetic, which I'm really enjoying. So this is my stable of champions. You can own more than one, and the way that it works is you send them on these missions here, which get updated regularly. There recently was a Halloween one, which I was unfortunately not able to get my guys strong enough to participate in, and now they're coming out with sort of this story content where we've got chapter 1, which is the children's cries, and over time they'll add on more chapters and stuff. The introductory stuff is dungeons are these ones: Memento Mori, Glimmer of Hope, Hogger's Revenge. I'm still stuck on Hogger's Revenge. I haven't quite gotten my way into Heroic. I have a few runs that I pre-recorded, which are probably running through right now. And this is kind of what it looks like. You start a raid, and your hero will just automatically run through the dungeon. They'll get their way to the end or find some treasure. They'll fight it, and if you win, you get experience and you get some treasure. And if you lose, well, right now you leave the dungeon, but in the future you would technically die. Now, part of what's really fun is when your champions level up or you collect gear, you've got your inventory and all of your different items have different stats. And I'll be making some videos later with various bits of experimentation. But, I have a couple of builds here. This is a strength one. And, contrary to many other games, strength is not a damage. It's a stamina. It's how much health you have. So this is kind of a tanky build. We've got a tons of health and a bit of wisdom so that he can hit. I had so many runs earlier with this champion where I just wasn't hitting Hogger, and I was just getting destroyed because I would hit him a couple times and do decent amounts of damage, but I couldn't hit anything. So finally I just put some points of wisdom in here. This guy, he's a wisdom intelligence build. You know, the gear he's got right now, his axe and this crusader's cloak. It's very intelligence heavy, so I just bumped up the wisdom to make sure he hits his opponents, you know, 21. And now I'm starting to add in some charm, which again increases my hit chance, and of course, all in for crit. Agility is your main damage one. Again, oddly enough, it's not for dodging, it's for increasing the amount of damage that you do. They keep reworking what these abilities do, and they keep tweaking them, and every time they give us a reset, so, you know, lots of opportunity to play around with theory crafting. So these were my first two champions, you know, John 1296. I picked him up off of OpenSea, and again, I'm really glad I did. And he's a Gen 1, you can see here. And Gen 1s, later on when they start dropping gold and currency, I think they get like a 15 or 10% bonus on rewards. Gen 2 gets like a 5% or 10%, and Gen 3 gets a 5%, if I remember. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, so those were the first two I got. There recently was, and I think it's still ongoing, a minting event where your existing champions can go to an inn and recruit more champions. So I had these two. So I started off with this John. I then recruited number 2. And then both of these recruited these additional 2 new recruits. And then I picked up this Tammy. You know, the blue-haired girls are called Tammys. Off of OpenSea, because I saw it as a good deal. It was 0.034, and if we look at the floor right now, you know, you can see that the starting price is 0.038. So I'm really happy, and 0.038 is not too expensive to get in. It's $150. So not crazy expensive like other projects are. And you know, if you want to wait, I'm sure as more minting events happen, the price of champions will go down. There is a cost to mint, and I think every mint the cost has gone down. So I think those factors will just make it cheaper over time. But you know, as each mint progresses, the reward potential goes down. So if you want to get in on this project, I think picking up a Gen 3 is a great opportunity, and I think you should absolutely go ahead with it. So let's have a look at these builds. So again, I've got another tanky build here. High strength, high agility. So strength and damage. Our little Tammy here. So her gear is already giving her a 13 strength and 9 intelligence, which basically cover my health and damage. And so I just threw in 5 points into wisdom to make sure that she can actually hit her targets. And I still have some stats left over. I'm saving these to see what gear I pick up from Hogger so that I can prep and run against the heroic one. And then finally, this guy, where I had to just dump points into him because he just wasn't able to defeat Hogger. And yeah, you know, again, high strength. Yeah, again, another tanky build. I seem to get a lot of strength items, so a lot of my champions are strength-based. Also, these guys don't have names, so if you guys want to suggest any names for these champions, please leave them in the comment section below. So the character that I picked up was a Gen 1, and so he'll earn 25% extra Aurum. The original Genesis champions, which were out of my budget, you know, they get 30. So I think Gen 2 will get 20%, Gen 3 will get 15%, Gen 4 will probably get a 10% bump, Gen 5, I'm guessing 5%, and then Gen 6 onwards will get no additional benefit to Aurum. Aurum is one of the 2 in-game cryptocurrencies, so this is a dual currency game. And they've got their own DeFi system here for staking and whatnot, which is really convenient. So we've got Aurum, which is the in-game currency. This is the one that is spent and burned. This is what we use to recruit heroes, is what we'll use to buy items. I'm guessing, I think there'll probably be an item marketplace at some point, so again, it's a good time to stock up on items. And this is pretty much how we'll transact. Raider is basically the AXS token of this project. It's the governance token. They haven't done much with it at this point. But I'm sure the dev team is fantastic. They're really proactive. They're coming out with great ideas, and I'm sure that there'll be more use cases for this. So both of these are cheap now. It's a great time to come in and pick it up. In fact, if you want, so Aurum usually spikes whenever there's a minting event. So if we have a look at the last 90 days, yeah, you see here, each of these spikes there was a minting event. Because we have to spend the Aurum to mint champion, so the entire community goes out and buys Aurum to prep for the minting event, and then it just kind of drops afterwards because, as I said, there's not really an item store, and you can pick up more heroes off OpenSea, because you can only recruit one per champion you own, and once that's done, it's done. So everybody buys in, and then all the excess gets sold off or whatever. So now is a good time to pick it up. You can see that when something happens, the community buys in and the token kind of explodes. So, great time to pick it up and wait for the next minting event. In fact, I might pick some extra up now and just sell it off on the next minting event. Makes sense. So yeah, so that is Crypto Raiders. I hope this was an informative video. I'm very active on this project, and so I probably will be making more videos. If that's something you'd like to see, please press the thumbs up. Before I forget, there is one more thing that has happened. So again, owning a Gen 1 Raider, they also gave us an Aurum airdrop, and then when they launched their staking, if you were staking with them, they also dropped a mob. And if you don't know what that is, right, let's have a look. So, you know how I said that if your hero goes out on an adventure and you can die? Well, from my understanding, you'll be fighting these monsters in the dungeons. And every monster that you encounter will be an NFT that is owned by one of the players. And any gear that you drop will be picked up by the monster and given to you. So if you run into one of my aberrations, for example, and you die, I get all your gear. So and these were all airdropped to people. I actually got 2. And I sold one, which I do regret. I wish I'd held on to them. Let's have a look at what the floor is looking like. Ooh, crikey. Is this the official one? Yeah, Crypto Raiders mobs. 12,000 results. Yeah, this looks like the right one. So low to high, 0.05. I might pick one up, actually. These are not crazy expensive, at least not when they first came out. And I'd like to have a little more variety than just an aberration, because I got 2 aberrations. But yeah, so a lot of awesome things happening with this project as it grows. The people that are already invested in the project, they're just rewarding them left, right, and center, and you don't have to be a whale to take advantage of this. And this is one of the things I really like about this project as a small participant compared to some of the other players. I have had to sometimes stretch my wallet a bit to participate in this project, and it's given back, and that's something that I really love about this project, and I think that getting in is a great opportunity. Not financial advice, but my own experience. But yeah, so if this video was helpful, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to drop some names in the comments below for some of our fun little champions. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.